Okay, so welcome back. Today I'm installing my CRC race fairings. Pardon my voice, I've got a bit of a cold, but I gotta get this done for a track weekend this weekend. Headed to Barber Motorsports Park to watch Moto America racing, and then I'm hanging out on Monday with Sport Bike Track Time to get a little track time in myself. So in order to do this, they have included, or you have to buy a couple bit mounting kits. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the seat right away. So after you remove the undertail, you're just left with the subframe here. You got to do the seat posts. So the seat posts are these right here, and they come with a bunch of hardware, but this is what you need. So you're going to remove the existing hardware that's in here. It's all the same size. They're all right here. Every screw that was there is all the same. And then this part right here goes on the outside, and then the screw drops in. So I'm gonna get that fastened. It'll look just like this when it's done. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt that down. Okay, next step is we're gonna remove these two bolts on either side so that we can mount the bracket that's gonna hold the front of the seat as well as the back of the tank cowling. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these out on both sides and I'll get right back. Okay, so you're gonna get a couple pieces. This is the piece, and then you got a back piece. So to do each side, we're gonna do like that. And then it's gonna get mounted underneath like this. I'm gonna get that mounted up. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so underneath each of these pieces, you'll see these two screw holes. It's hard to do here with one hand, but this plate mounts up underneath through these two holes like this. And then this is the right side. So this is gonna mount up like that. All right, so I'm gonna get these mounted. So I'm gonna put those two screws in. They look like this on either side, mount them in. I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. All right, so once you've got this mounted up under here, these two screws torqued down pretty good. It's gonna go on here just like this using the existing hardware. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount that up. All right, so we've got this all mounted up. Good to go. Gonna go ahead and move on to the other pieces now. Okay, so now we're gonna come on down to the gear shifter. We're gonna come a little forward, and there's going to be a black, where is it? A black T50 screw right there. So we're gonna undo that and remove this bracket. Okay, this is what the bracket looks like that's gonna go in here using the stock hardware. Just bolt it back on. Okay, so this part doesn't include the hardware to fasten the fairing stay or fairing piece to the frame. So what I did was, when I took all my hardware off, I labeled everything, and of my bag that I've got, left side, I found one of the fasteners that doesn't have any collar there at all, and that's gonna allow me to get it flush mounted. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this piece right here that mounts up like that. Hard to see. Mounts up like this. All right, so I'm gonna put that on. Okay, so we've got that mounted on there, just like that. I'll move on to the next piece. Okay, so for the next piece is gonna go on the side stand adapter here. So this is kind of a bitch for me, so I'm gonna have to pull this off, and then these two bolts, and then this bracket here gets mounted behind that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off and mount this up. Okay, so with that off, you can kind of see where this is gonna mount. It just hangs out right like that. There we go. That's what it was. Going on there. All right, so I'll just use the stock hardware to mount that back on. That's it. So same with the right side. This one here is gonna attach like that. I couldn't find any more fasteners that didn't have a collar, so this one's getting one with a tiny collar on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fasten this down, and I'll be right back. This piece to go on is gonna go right there. So you're gonna remove this, and then this is gonna get mounted up just like that in its place. Okay, so now we're gonna fit the tail. If you have a standard subframe, the OEM subframe, just like I have, you're gonna have to pull all of these things out of the OE tail and all the hardware out of there. It's super easy, took me 2 minutes. And then what I wasn't super happy about, but I understand why I needed to do it. There's two tabs in here that fit up against here, and what it does is it allows two of the prongs from the previous undertail to fit in. Well, unfortunately, those are too shallow for to fit this part of the tail underneath. So go ahead and trim those off. It won't matter if you go to convert it back anyways. They're really small tabs. Here, I'll show you. These small tabs that lock in, so it's not really a big deal. It's more for exact fitment, but I don't think it'll make a difference at all. So I'm gonna mount up the tail, and then if you have the OEM subframe, you want to drill. This is the bottom of the tail unit, so you want to drill the top two there, and these top two here. You go ahead and leave this undrilled. That's for the race subframe, so we're gonna leave that undrilled. So you're gonna drill there and here. If you're on the metric system, use a 6 mil. I'm using a 7/32, I believe, 13/64. So that's what I'm using. Go ahead and drill them out and get them mounted. Okay, so go ahead and drop your little spools in on both sides, and we're gonna make sure the tail lines up. Okay, now that you've got these two tightened here, and go ahead and tighten this guy. Now we can go ahead and line up our side spools on both sides and make sure it all lines up correctly. Okay, so the seat fits on with these Zeus fasteners here, 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 and here. So go ahead and give those a quarter turn. It locks the seat right in. That's not going anywhere. All right, so now we're gonna mock up the top airbox cover to go ahead and drill our holes. So you're gonna drill holes here, 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 one up top, and then your last one over here. You're gonna mount the top airbox with the screws that you took off originally. So that one goes in, one with the long collar, that one goes in here, and then this one in here, and here. All right, so I'm gonna tighten those down. So most of the guys that are racing these bikes, and that's pretty much who CRC makes these fairings for, have deleted their ABS lines. So if you notice on the OEM cover, airbox cover, you see how this cutout lines up perfectly with these two lines. So we need to make a cut similar to that so that the airbox will fit nice and flush. So I went ahead and marked the airbox kind of there and there. I'm gonna make a little dome shape with my Dremel, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I've got my cut, you'll see, I'll lift this up so you can see a little better. Everything lines up, sits down flush. It's perfect. So I'm gonna bolt this down and get her going. So everything else just kind of mounts up easily. Just drill your holes here and here for the windshield mount. For this bolt, I used my mirror block-off kit bolts that came with these. They worked perfectly for in here. If you don't have those, you know, anything will do. Little tip, mount this up and then drill a little pilot hole so that everything lines up perfectly there. Other than that, everything just fastens on with the included Zeus fasteners. They're all pre-drilled. The rivets were not included, so I need to go to the hardware store and grab a rivet tool to put these all on, and then that's it.
Want to give a huge shout out again to Manny over at MotoMillion. If you're looking for any parts or accessories for your motorcycle, make sure you check out motomillion.com. Here are some glamour shots of my bike after I got it back from paint and everything reinstalled. I went gloss black, looking for that dark look. I went ahead and originally wrapped the tank in blue, and I didn't like the accent, so I went back and wrapped it in gloss black to match. I hope this video was helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe for more helpful tutorials on getting your bike ready for the racetrack. Alright, we'll see you later.